Hi everyone, and welcome to another Tribe Forex Power Hour. I am Marcello, and today is February 26, 2014. I'm going to do today what I've done for years, which is an analysis of the markets and evaluation of our strategies, which are based upon the 5 p.m. Eastern Time close of our daily bars and our 4-hour bars. After that, I will go over our recent trades. And afterward, on tribeforex.com, you can always come to me, and also Nino, FX Trader, and other traders that are in tribeforex.com, and ask them questions about the trades that we've taken and how we made our trading decisions and how we're doing as well across the board with our trades. So having said that, let's talk about how it works. So basically, guys, as I said before, at 5 p.m. or after 5 p.m., I would say, Eastern Time, we do our market analysis to determine the bias. What is the bias? It is a probability of price either being favorable for a buy or being favorable for a sell. If price is favorable for a buy, we take that buy believing that we're going to have a maximum favorable excursion, which is equal to or greater than what we would expect our take profit to be. So if we think that price is most likely to go up, we will take a buy. If we think price is most likely to go down, we will take a sell, and that will be our bias. Okay, now there are two ways to execute the bias. One is by a set and forget it trade. So we can take it at night. We can make our trading decision, say we're going to have a buy bias, take a buy, or set up a buy, set our stop loss and our take profit, and check it back at 5 p.m. Eastern Time the next day. Second way is that we can take a day trade in the direction of our bias using pods. If you don't know what a pod is, go into tribeforex.com. It's completely free, and take a look at our trading course that we have there, and you will learn exactly what a pod is. It's a point of decision, and you can leverage and make much bigger profits using pods day trading wise. Okay, having said that, let's go ahead and take a look at the charts. I want to apologize today, guys. I'm actually a little bit late. I had to go to the doctor and had to get an MRI done. So that would explain why I was late. It took a lot longer than I expected. So this is going to be a little bit later, but not too late for the session itself. So it's about 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and so I'm looking at the euro dollar here. Yesterday, guys, we called a sell bias from the euro dollar, and boy, did it go for a sell. It really just dropped out of this apex that we had talked about and really just rocketed down, actually more than I expected it to, actually. But we did get our sell. We got our sell bias. It did exceptionally well. Actually, across the board, guys, we were batting 1,000. We literally hit every single one of these biases out of the park. Okay, so where are we now? Okay, so basically this we had this small flag, okay, small pennant that formed here, and we no longer need it because it's been broken solidly. It is no longer relevant for us. Okay, so now that we've said that, make this thing go away. Okay, now that we've said that, where are we now as far as what the euro dollar can do? Now, believe it or not, we are still basically working in consolidation here. There's not a tremendous amount of breakout here, and we haven't had a tremendous amount of news that would really shift us in one direction or the other. And for that reason, we're going to continue in believing that we're in a consolidation. Now, price could come down, hit this 50 EMA, and then move up. That could definitely happen. But for the time being, what we're going to call is, and so if that does happen, you can look at the 50 EMA at 136.50 as a very nice bounce point. It's only 30 pips away. That's not that much. So we could see price come down, bounce off the 50 EMA at 136.50, and then move up. Right now, our bias is going to be a buy. We're on the 50% fib area of the overall move down, and we're also at an area of support. Okay. So we're at an area of support, and we are at that 50 EMA, so we're going to be looking for a buy. Now, we may have a bounce off that 136.50 right below us at about 30 pips below where we were, or where we are right now in the markets. So we can actually look to take a buy here on the euro dollar, and that's what we're going to be looking for. Pound dollar, same thing, guys. We had an awesome call. We called a sell here on the pound, and we were looking for price to go to 38.2 in this trend line that we had drawn. By the way, as steep as this trend line is, it has held pretty well. I'm actually surprised. I'm expecting for a price. It bounced right off of that trend line to the low side. What are we looking for here? We could see a buy here on the pound dollar. We could see a sell here on the pound dollar. We're still in consolidation, and so we're going to call a buy here on the pound dollar just because it's going in the same direction that it has for quite some time. We're going to be looking for a buy. So I'm looking for more consolidation, more range movement here on the pound dollar. I'm expecting it to move up to the previous highs that we've had here. Those previous highs are at, let's see here, 167.20. Okay, so the 167.20, 167.30 area. It's not a tremendous amount of movement that we're expecting here. Maybe, maybe we're going to look to 167.20 as an area of support and resistance, 167.30-ish. Okay, and that's what I'm looking for on the pound dollar. Not a tremendous amount of movement there. All right, New Zealand dollar. Now the New Zealand is interesting. It's actually given us a confirmation of further price movement. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, and now you can see that price has already come down, touched this trend line. We had 1, 2, 3 points that proved this trend line. Okay, and then now we've just had a fourth touch here. Now price can always come back down here, break it, go down to this 50 EMA, and then move up. That's not unheard of. So we could very well see that. We don't have a tremendous amount of news on the New Zealand. And so for that reason, we are going for a buy here because we are in consolidation. We're going to see more movement in that respect. We're going to look for a buy here on the New Zealand dollar. Has respected the 50 EMA so far and now has a trend line. So the actual perfect place to get in on that trend line would have been at our, I would say about 8,300, 82.87. Which is where the trend line was, and that's where price came down to. 82.90 actually bounced off and is now moving higher. The best time to get into New Zealand and Aussie dollar trades around 6 o'clock p.m. And so that's what we could have expected there. Let's talk about the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, this is a great time to look at the Aussie dollar. A lot going on the Aussie. One of the things that we had before was this trend line. This trend line had held, it broke. You can see that the Aussie dollar was, let's see where we are on the Aussie. It's actually not a bad time for us to look at the Aussie dollar. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 touches on the Aussie. We're right now at a trend line at 8,900. You can see that price has already come to 89.15. Right in this vicinity is not a bad time to look for an Aussie dollar buy out of this zone. We have 4 touches, 4 solid touches, 1, 2, 3, 4 before today, not counting today. And so we've actually approached that that support area on that trend line. And because there's not a tremendous amount of news, I do think that could hold, and we could see a bounce and a move forward, move up on the Aussie dollar from where we are. So having said that, let's go down to a lower time frame. Okay, so we have moved down, and we're kind of sitting above it. So we could come down a bit more. It looks a little bit more drastic than it is because this is, that's 43 pips from the trend line from where we are. Let's see. So our trend line is at 8,900, and we are currently at 89.27. Yeah, that's about right. About 30 pips away. And so we're going to look for a bounce off this trend line. So buy on the Aussie dollar just because we have 2 areas of support and resistance, 89.36, which was an area of support, and now the trend line, which is also an area of support that we are at, and the 50 is the area of resistance that was above us that gave us a little push down. So we're going to continue to look for a buy here on the Aussie dollar. Dollar CAD looks good. I really have no call on the dollar CAD as of late. It's kind of bounced around there. There's no clear call on that. The euro yen, I'm going to look for a buy here. We've got the trend line here at 139.80. We also have the 50 EMA at 139.91, which is going to give us a good area of support. And so I'm looking for price to continue to move up. Why do we look at this trend line? Because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 touches already there. We could see a retest here at 139, actually 139.69, and then price moving up, and of course the 50 EMA at 139.91. So I've got a buy bias on the euro yen. Across the board, I got pretty much buys here, guys. Also here on the dollar yen, looking for price to move up, retest 102.07, and then price move up. As far as the pound yen is concerned, I really don't have a call on it. This trend line, the very steep trend line, has been blown, so it's no longer relevant for us. We don't really have another clear-cut trend line for us to look at on the pound yen. Could see price come down here on the pound yen, but I'm not going to call it. And you can see more consolidation on oil as this trend line has held once again. You could have bought and sold off of this trend line here, really, and off this consolidation. But that's where we're at as far as the oil is concerned. Just really play off a sell off of this trend line until we get a breakout, which we don't have. All right, so on dollar Swiss, we do have an area of resistance here at 89.17. Got multiple touches there, okay? And besides that, guys, this was a perfect call. We did exceptionally well on all of these currency pairs, actually, which I haven't addressed. I called a buy right off of the dollar Swiss trend line right here at the bottom at 88.64. That's where the trend was. Price came down to 88.65 and pushed up. Exactly what I said would happen. If you don't believe me, just simply go to the recordings. That's why we have them. And look at that. So the dollar Swiss, I called a buy yesterday. We had a buy. I called a euro dollar sell. We had a euro dollar sell. Pound dollar, I called a sell. We got a sell on that. New Zealand, I called a sell. We got a sell on that. Aussie dollar, I called a sell. We got a sell on that. And of course, if you're part of the Build Wealth Auto Trader program, you made money on that. On that Aussie dollar. Euro yen, I called a sell, and we made money. We played the consolidation on that. Dollar yen, I don't think I called anything on that. And pound yen, I don't think I called anything on that either. So the dollar Swiss was a really clear-cut big winner. That was the trade that you should have gotten into, and all the rest of them won. So euro dollar won, pound dollar won, Aussie dollar won, New Zealand dollar won, dollar Swiss won, euro yen won. So we've actually done very, very well with our calls, and just another day of that. So tonight, guys, actually is going to be, we're walking into Thursday, and that is Nino's session, 1 a.m. Eastern time tonight. You will have the opportunity to trade with Nino and make some big pips. He's just been back-to-back winners in the trade room. So 1 a.m. Eastern time, get in there if you want to make some pips tonight. And then, of course, 8 a.m. Eastern time again for the New York session. So join them there. So let me just recap here. Euro dollar, I have a buy. Pound dollar, I've got a buy. New Zealand dollar, buy. Aussie dollar, buy. For where we are here on this Aussie dollar, is a nice place to pick it up at 89.07, 89.15 in that vicinity. Euro yen, I have a buy off the areas of support there. And the dollar yen, I have a buy as well. Pound yen, no call. Oil is a consolidation play. Play a sell right off the top here, a 102.59. And dollar Swiss, I guess I could call a sell right off of 89.17. So that's where I would go on that. It's really not clear cut today as much as it was yesterday. So those are my calls for the day. I hope that helps, guys. Go out there. It makes plenty of pips. If you need to reinforce what we're doing here, simply just watch our videos. They're all up there on the website, tribeforex.com, and you can see exactly what my trade calls were. And you can go back and look at the market and see exactly what the market did. And we are doing exceptionally well with those trade calls. So having said that, guys, I look forward to seeing you next week, because actually tomorrow I'll be here. Thursday evening, we'll be right back here doing our trade calls for Friday, okay? And I'll see you back here for another edition of the Tribe Forex Power Hour. All the best. Bye-bye. Happy trading.